Welcome to Dance to Heal. I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. Join me as I share stories of how dance and movement can bring healing in a way that is safe and tailored to your life. I'm a cancer survivor, mother of two, and an award-winning performer who found that movement was vital to my recovery. I created Dance to Heal Wellness and also authored the best-selling book, Outside in Recovery, Dancing My Way Back to Myself After Breast Cancer. I will bring new techniques to help you on your dance journey and healing path. Are you ready to move? Dance to Heal starts now.
Hello there. So Boba Fett decided he really wanted to be on the podcast today. I apologize for any other noises he's making in the background. I found that today I really feel the world and myself, we need some reminders of good. Things are happening on mainstream that are very disheartening. And at the same time, there are other things happening on the mainstream world that are very heartening. And sometimes for me, coming from trauma, it's easy to get very focused on the negative lack of growth instead of focusing on how the world is transforming. And we are changing for the better, even if it feels like it's baby steps sometimes. And that's what today's talk is about. I have a wonderful guest. I'm so excited for you to meet her. I mean, the world knows her, all right, but I'm excited that I get to say I know her. And I wanted to just talk about transformation. So listen, when my children were almost 4 years old, I have fraternal twins. I had been a stay-at-home mom all that time. And prior to that, I was a professional working person in the medical field. I was an occupational therapist and I worked in hand therapy. And then we went through in vitro and I had two beautiful babies. And because they were miracle babies, and I elected to say to the universe, God, for some of us, no, I want to have babies, and not understanding that meant like no life after, like no money, no privacy ever. You're taking a piece of your heart and putting it out to the world, that kind of a thing. No clue, just like insisting on having babies. 4 years later, my posture had changed. Literally, my neck jetted forward. My pectoralis muscles had shrunk because I was chasing my two babies who were almost 4 at the time, and they would always run in different directions everywhere we went. Yeah, I was very blessed. I'm not saying that I wasn't. However, when I found the art of belly dance, that's what it's called here in the States. It's changing, but that's what it was called back then in December 2002. We moved in a snowstorm to upstate New York, and I found in a penny saver belly dance classes Monday nights. I was like, yeah, honey, you better get home from New York. It was an hour and a half commute for him. I got to go to my belly dance class. And I would drive 30 minutes in the dark through long, windy country roads to get to this cute little, quiet, very dark room and learn to belly dance. And I fell in love with it. And here's the thing. The transformation was inside out because I hadn't done, after any type of transformation event in your life, there's a responsive change in your body. And if you go through pregnancy and you don't consistently tighten the muscles that were loosened from pregnancy, they stay loose. And what I didn't know was a lot of us, our abdominals will separate to accommodate the pregnancy. I didn't know. I was an occupational therapist, but I was just I was lucky and very busy growing my babies inside of me. That's another story. I'll leave that for another podcast. But my point is, the dancing training was strengthening my core, working on my posture from the inside. And I was learning to remember the lightness of being prior to being a mom in pregnancy, because your whole center of gravity changes during your pregnancy. Your hips get a little wider. My feet got bigger. Yes, your feet get bigger. I'm sorry. They do. Because your ligaments get a little looser during pregnancy so that your hips can deliver the baby, but your feet don't go back. They don't. Sorry. Anywho, now here's the thing. One really exciting thing about, as I learned to dance, we would have performance opportunities. And at first I was kind of like, no, I'm just here for the exercise. But then as I watched my teacher give these little mini shows, like in the States, we call them haflas. Just so you know that the countries of origin they come from, haflas just mean parties, okay? But here in the States, we've made them into shows. Sometimes they're very professionally done. We still call them haflas. Sometimes they're very, very informal in the studio space. But we, in the Western hemisphere, Western civilization, Western society, whatever, we made it into shows, yeah? And people would get decked up. They would do these transformations. And I really fell in love with it. And so that was the outside transformation. And I noticed I held myself differently when I was in costume. And then I started to see I started to see it carry over outside of class, because I got to see myself as, not that motherhood wasn't wonderful and fulfilling, but I got to see myself and remember myself as more than wife, mother, student. I was a woman again. I was sensual. I had value in that arena. Does that make sense? All right. So that is part of today's talk. And I also, before I introduce and show you our esteemed guest today, some of you might be watching at night. Anyways, I wanted to let you know and remind you, those of you who are following the launch of Dance to Heal Wellness with Jenny, which is it's kind of hand in hand with this podcast. My launch for this program that was given birth because of my breast cancer recovery, I found there were a lot of modalities I had to explore to fully recover. And going through any type of traumatic event, it will kind of set off all of your mechanisms of safety nets you set up over the years. Yeah. And so if you want to get in on that launch, please go to my website, jennyccohen.com, subscribe to the email list. I will send you a free 30-minute pre-recorded workshop. I launched in November, like earlier this month. So that recording it's only 30 minutes. It's some exercises you can use. And then you will be sent the offer to launch it. It's in beta. That means you get all these special prices, special fast action bonuses. And then after that's done, I'm going to launch an app in January. So if you get in on the bottom level, you come with me on the bottom level. Does that make sense? Not to say that it's not worth the value when I do it for the full price. Okay, that's enough for the, money stuff. Okay, so listen. I'm going to have Jacob, our wondrous, wondrous producer, play a video for you. This video has generated, I think, over 1 million or so views. And I got to see it live because I was working behind the scenes, helping the tech people set up. We're running around with little mics and setting up all the dancers. This is an event in Vegas every year. It's well known amongst the more fusion-oriented belly dance community. But Sadie is famous in all the different areas of belly dance, nationally and internationally. And so she performed this right before the shutdown. So this was in March 2020. So please enjoy. Jacob, take it away. All right, listen. Were your eyeballs not just blown out of their little sockets? Every time I see Sadie perform, my heart kind of just beats to the rhythm that she sets with her body. You hear me pounding on my chest here? That's her magic. All right. So now Sadie She's been inspiring students and fans from around the world, and she does shows and workshops. She's one of the most watched Bellydance YouTubes with a viral videos that have reached over 30 million views. Yeah, she's like a mover and a shaker, y'all. And I'm so honored that she's here. Now, here's the thing. If you go to the event, you'll see her long bio, and I don't want to waste my precious time with her going over her kudos. But don't forget, you can look for her video when she was on America's Got Talent. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So Sadie, welcome.
Hi, Jenny. Hello, everyone. Yay, Jenny. I haven't seen you since that show. It's been, oh my goodness. That's not okay.
I know, but that's okay because once I do see you, because we're going to see each other again in Massive 2022. And I signed up for all her workshops, y'all.
And the coolest full circle of that is that was the last show I did before the pandemic, and it's the first big event that I'll actually be doing after.
Yeah.
Somewhat of a handle on this now.
I know. And you know what's, listen, audience, if you want to get in on it, look up the Massive show in Vegas. There's a live show in Vegas. I don't think they're going to do it online. You can see the video a few months later. But if you want to see Sadie live, go check out those dates, because those tickets are going on sale soon. Or you can even take classes from her there. Join me. I'm so excited. Anyways, back to focus of this interview. Sadie, would you please share with our viewers and listeners, how did you get started in this art form?
Yeah, I mean, I've told the story so many times, but I know that there's still people who maybe have not heard the story. And I think so many people who can relate. It was very similar to, how you found yours. It was kind of a fluke, actually. I wasn't in particular looking for it, but I kind of was. And all the right things kind of lined up. I was about 18 years old, and, in this, in that stage of like puberty to womanhood, feeling very awkward in my body, going through some very strange changes in my confidence levels. It was a roller coaster ride through childhood, through adolescence to womanhood, of, moments of feeling confident, moments of feeling not confident. And in this culture in particular, and especially in my background, there was no ritual or welcoming into womanhood. It was just kind of like, well, there you go. And somehow deep down inside, I just knew that was not right, that there was something about that needed to be celebrated. Again, I had no words or context to any of that at that age. I just knew something really felt unacknowledged inside of me. And at about that same time, I was also having some interesting weight stuff going on because of hormones, kind of out of control weight gain. I actually weighed about almost 30 pounds heavier than I am right now. And it just kind of happened overnight, and it was all hormone related. And I just was kind of at a loss of where to start, what to do, all those things combined. I was driving in my car, and I literally heard the woman who ended up to become my teacher. She had a business that she called Unicorn Singing Telegrams. Unicorn Bellygrams, not singing telegrams, Unicorn Bellygrams. And she was promoting her business and how, it was kind of this thing like, hey, want to hire people often love hiring singing telegrams for their parties. Maybe you should try a bellygram. And she had the most amazing set that she would do with her partner at the time. He would do like a whole magic show, and then she would come out and dance, and there was comedy involved. And anyway, it was like a promotion for this. And I didn't hear a lot of it, but what I heard was Bellydance. And I literally like pulled the car over on the side of the road and had to take a moment to kind of like process what I just heard. It was so bizarre. I wasn't sure if I actually heard it the right way. And I was like, Bellydance? What is that? And why do I feel like I need to know more about this? So I got home, and this was back in the phone book era. So So I flipped through the yellow pages to dance. And, right at the beginning, there was another woman in town who had a belly dance business too. And I think hers started with like a A or a B. So it was right at the front. I literally just there was like 3 or 4 different people in the dance part of the yellow pages. So I just went crazy. I called them all, asked them about getting into classes, and they all sent me their little brochures in the mail, and I signed up for all of them. And at that point, I literally met pretty much all of the main founding mothers here, at least in Colorado, and was just a faithful, loyal, dedicated student to all of them, and love them all to this day. And I did find the woman who had the commercial, and her name is Joy Ann. She's retired now, but she was probably one of the most influential people in my trajectory of my dance career. And it just never stopped. I walked into that space, and the energy and the atmosphere and everything that was happening just felt like this is where I belong.
You also provide that with every class I've taken with you, Sadie. Every workshop I've done, even especially audience, please know that Sadie has a platform, rocksonline.com, where you have access to her 24/7 everywhere you go, because you're also an app, aren't you?
Yeah, we're on all the Android, Apple, we're on the smart TVs. So you could pretty much pull us up anywhere now.
Yes. And Sadie, do they have to get on your mailing list to get that special coupon, that lovely coupon?
There's a special coupon going on right now. And what would be the easiest way to get that to people? Can I just say it here?
Yeah.
Can we put it up? So we are running, and this is the biggest sale that we do all year long. So we won't do it again until next year. And we can't even guarantee this is the biggest one we've ever done, and it's for our annual membership. So if you would just like to try it out, you can always get a free week. You don't have to do anything for that. Just come sign up for the free week. And then if you don't want to continue after that, it didn't cost you anything. If you did, it's $24.99 a month, but you can get 50% off your first month, making it $12.50 with code 50month. So the number 50 followed by month, MONTH, all capitals. And then if you're like, you know what, I just want to do this, I want to try it out for a year. Jenny just did it. You can get $50 off the annual membership, which already saves you $60 a year from what you would pay if you were a monthly member. So if you're a monthly member, you're paying about $24.99. If you're an annual member, you're paying $19.99, which is $60 a year savings, and you get another $50 off of that. So a total of $110, and that's 50 year. So the number 50 followed by capitals YEAR. That only is through November 23rd. So
sign up now. In other words, like do it now, right after your free lesson, where Sadie's going to give you a cute little combo. And if you want to post that and do hashtag Jenny C. Cohen, I'll find you and you get another special present from me. Seriously, y'all. I have one more quick question to ask Sadie, because I really want to also give her an opportunity to teach you on this podcast a few simple movements that you can start to understand what we mean when we talk about it being a transformative inside and outside type of thing. Yeah. So Sadie, you're a mommy now, and I wanted to just make sure that people understand, like, this type of dance is for all ages, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, in fact, the older I get, the more in place I feel with this dance, the more I start to feel like, oh, I'm just really only starting to understand what this dance has to offer. There is such a wisdom in the movements and the culture and the lineage of the dance that I feel like definitely could easily take multiple lifetimes to fully integrate. So having grown into womanhood with this dance has quite honestly been the most incredible gift of my life. And when I see women of all ages, all backgrounds, all everything, and not just women, that's the thing, it's men too, it's for everyone. So I'm just so happy when I see anybody coming on in to experience the magic. And I'm just here to welcome everybody and facilitate anyone and everyone into their journey with this dance and whatever it is for them.
Yes. I mean, you sparked a memory that we also have phenomenal male teachers that you were personally friends with that we should also have on the podcast. I mean, yeah. So tune in, guys.
Definitely.
There's going to be
I always like to share with people what a lot of people don't know actually is belly dance, that, as you said, we call it belly dance in English speaking countries most often. It's called Raksharki in, the countries of origin, in Arabic speaking countries. And what most people don't know is what inspired belly dance in the West was this Raksharki dance that we saw in the Egyptian cinema and in Lebanese movies and stuff too in the early 1900s to middle 1900s. And what a lot of people don't know is the majority of behind the scenes choreographers that were actually choreographing the dances for the famous dancers on stage were mostly men.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole nother 3-hour show that I will probably schedule. All right. So without further ado, we want to make sure you get enough of your time with Sadie. Sadie, we're going to ask Jacob to start looping that song right now. And you're going to take it away and you're going to have about 4.5 minutes. And I'll give you a little verbal reminder when we've run out of time.
Perfect. Let's do it. Let's make sure, I might need to set my camera here a little bit, make sure everybody can see me. Can you see my?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do today, this is just a really feel-good move. It's really good if you're, working at a desk and you're stationary. The first thing we're going to do is just get a really nice spinal articulation, also known as an undulation in our belly dance practice. And what you can do if you practiced yoga and you remember from yoga, we have this action called the cat and the cow. Usually we're doing that on the floor like this, right? Cat and cow. This is the 2-dimensional way to start to approach your undulation where you're contracting everything in and then you're opening everything up. So contract and open. And then what we want to start to do is rather than just 2-dimensionally opening and closing, we want to start to roll it out. Okay, so in this particular case, you can allow your rib cage to lead and your pelvis can follow. So I'm going to open the rib cage, let the pelvis follow to open, and then I'm going to close the rib cage in and let the pelvis follow. So if this is my rib cage, this is my pelvis, open, open, close, close. So I kind of get this undulating effect. Easier said than done, but we only got a couple minutes. So we're here. And I love this move. You can bend your knees a little bit with it. So after you kind of get it going, allow your knees to softly bend so that you can drop down into it a little bit more. And if this feels good to you, you can stay right here. You don't have to do any more than this. I love playing with how we can start to layer our belly dance moves. So I just want to have you move in another way while we're doing this undulation. So right here, while you're here with this undulation, turn it to the side again so you can see my spine. Let it feel good. Let it feel a little bit natural. It is pretty natural, even though we're not used to it. Once it clicks though, you go, yes, yes. Once we get that undulation going, the next thing I want you to do is just shift the weight from one side to the other, big weight shift from your left to your right, and keep this undulation going. Center, side, center, side, center. Bring it over to this side, center. Then what we can start to do is add a figure 8. Shift the weight over here, undulated. 1 to set in the center, twist and shift the weight over here, 1 back to the center.
Sadie, go back a few steps so we can see your knees.
Oh, yes.
More. Perfect, yes.
Okay, so 3 undulations, 3 pivots of the weight. Side, center. I'm weighted between both feet. Side. Now I'm weighted over here. This is my right, would be your left if you're mirroring me. Center. Side, center, side. 3 undulations. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So what starts to happen when I am doing it like this, I can start to round those hips out to make a figure 8. So now I'm doing 2 of the most beautiful quintessential rock sharky movements, a big horizontal figure 8 with the hips, shifting that weight side to side. And then now let's drop the undulation down to 2. 1, 2.
Awesome. Hey, Sadie, we have to wrap it up. Can we continue to do this? I'm going to do my chair and you can finish this out and we can dance it out together. Would that be good for you?
Absolutely.
All right. So you're going to have to get up and lead us. And I'm going to do it from my chair. Here we go. I'll follow you.
I'm trying to hear the music, but let's just start with that undulation again.
Thanks for listening to Dance to Heal with Jenny C. Cohen. Come back next time to hear stories of recovery through movement and learn more ways that you can move your body. To work with me and continue your journey, visit OutsideInRecovery.com. Are you ready to move?